Hey folks, Jake here. Welcome to day 3 of replacing my Google Home with Claude Code. Today we are focused on giving Claude a voice, and I'm going to walk through the text-to-speech MCP server that we are using to provide that voice capabilities. So this is for voice output for Claude to be able to talk to us. And that's funny. I just triggered the Claude Code listener. Let me kill that process. Um, Okay, so we're going to walk through the MCP server today. We have 5 different MCP servers set up. I'll make a video about each of them. The text-to-speech one is critical to the Google Home experience, and it's also probably the simplest MCP server. Really, all we are doing is exposing 11 labs and making a API call to 11 labs to generate a audio file and then outputting that file. Let's jump into it. I'm going to start up here actually at the import. So there's something I want to call out when you are using the official MCP SDK provided by Anthropic, is that there are 2 different imports. If you import from just index, you will get a server import here instead of the MCP server class. This server import is a little lower level than MCP. If you are using this SDK and you want to keep it a little bit more friendly, just go with MCP directly. That exposes handlers like this register tool, and it just has some nice sugar on top. All right, so you import MCP server. We have a little bit of a wrapper class around it. That is really not needed. The core MCP server itself is just set up here. We initialize it with a name and a version. And then in this constructor, I'm calling the setup tools, which then registers the tool. This is the only tool that this server needs, which is just exposing a tool called speak, gives it a title, description, and input schema. We are going to have Claude provide text into this tool. We use it to then generate a speech output, a audio output, and play that audio output. The handler handles all of the execution there, and we are just calling this speak function. Speak function has 2 internal functions, one to generate the audio output and then one to play it. And then we return text that just says that the audio is starting to play. I want to break down why we have this set up the way that we do. The first one's really obvious. Generating the speech, we are just taking the text and we're generating the audio output file. There's really nothing special there. It is just a API call to 11 labs with some predefined voice and model configuration. We save that audio file locally, and we can then play that audio. So nothing special here in the generate speech. The only thing I want to call it is that we are awaiting this call. So we don't want to return from this tool call until we've at least generated the audio. That does add a little bit of latency. Would love to switch this to streaming at some point. But for now, that is good enough. We then play the audio, and note that this is not awaited, and we are using the bun shell execution here. This is where all of the logic happens. We're using AF play, and then we're playing the audio file directly, and we just let that function run, and that way the audio can start playing. We can return the response back to Claude, and Claude can continue working while the audio is playing. Otherwise, Claude will wait for the entire audio call to finish, and that just adds a lot of just like waiting time where Claude is just waiting for audio to finish before it is continuing on with like the next tool call or next response. So we await the first one, we don't this one, and we just return the text right away. And that's really it. That is the entire MCP server for the text to speech. For this run call, we just set up the transport, we connect it, and then at the end here, we just call that. Like nothing too special there. The way this manifests then is we can ask Claude to, I'm running the Claude code in debug mode, by the way. That can be helpful to see the internals of what's going on when you are working on these types of MPC servers. And I'll say, can you speak hello world? And Claude will think for a second and then make that tool call.
Hello world.
Here we go. And is able to continue on right away. Now we can do something a little more complicated and say, to lunch. So get my to-dos, tell me about them, and then make a calendar event for tomorrow to get lunch. Let's see, I think I probably already have that on there. So let's delete that, make the demo a little more real. All right, it did not it missed the speech command. So let me do that. Got to update the system prompt a little bit there. That's something that is a work in progress. So,
Getting your to-dos and creating that calendar event for you.
and it was able to start talking and then continue on with the rest of the to-dos. And love that. Love hitting a snag in the demo. It just exceeded the current quota for the 11 labs. So we'll call that a wrap there. Definitely cannot demo any more of the text-to-speech if I'm out of quota. Been super fun to play around with. But the Claude would have finished talking there, as you heard earlier, with the hello world. And that is how we can give Claude a voice. All right, thanks so much. Have a good day.